Isn't it amazing that hiring and team building are the single most important things our companies do, and at the same time the things we struggle with the most? With Talent Sonar, we put hiring practices in your team's hands. Teams that hire with Talent Sonar use research-proven methodologies and artificial intelligence for attracting and assessing candidates. They use interviewing best practices to make evidence-based hiring decisions. And they build organizations that are driven by values. The first step in this process is defining the role. With Talent Sonar, the skills and values that are important for a role are defined up front. This can be done either as part of the recruiting or hiring manager intake meeting, or the hiring manager doing this on their own. As an example, let's look at the administrative assistant role. Talent Sonar suggests skills and values associated with this job title. Why does Talent Sonar ask about values? When someone is assessing a candidate to hire, they usually want to determine, does the person have the skills we needed for the job, and will they be a fit with the organization's culture? While most people understand how to assess for skills, it can be much more challenging to assess for fit. Research shows the best way to assess for culture fit is to assess for whether the person's values align with the values of the organization. Talent Sonar makes it easy for hiring teams to assess culture fit. After the skills and values for a role have been defined, hiring teams get immediate feedback on the job descriptions before they're posted. Paste a chunk of the text in the field and you'll see a score with a green thumbs up or a red thumbs down. Note that Talent Sonar flags certain terms in red and others in green. Research indicates that a job description with a dominance of red terms are discouraging, while the green ones make a job more inviting. You don't need to get rid of all the red terms. You just need to balance them with the green ones. To get more suggestions for green words, click Show Word Suggestions here. You'll see that Build is highlighted in red. Mouse over it to replace it with Create and see your score go up. This is great. It means the job description shouldn't discourage qualified candidates from applying. After the job description has been posted, resumes start to come in. In most cases, a recruiter will review resumes and select a short list of resumes for the hiring manager to review. The recruiter will upload resumes to share with the hiring manager in an identity-blind fashion. After the resumes are uploaded, the hiring manager receives an email taking them to this page. They will sort the resume categories in order of their importance for the particular role. For example, perhaps for this administrative role, the hiring manager might care much more about experience than where the candidate went to school. The hiring manager can drag education down so that Talent Sonar knows to assign it less weight than experience. Each resume category is scored by the hiring manager as yes, no, or maybe to specify whether the category meets what is expected for the role. The hiring manager will advance through each resume, and when they are finished, they will get aggregated scores that are weighted by the relevance of importance assigned to each category. The hiring manager can now advance the top candidates to the interview round. Once a candidate has been selected for interviewing, it's time to plan the interview. Research has demonstrated that structured interviewing is twice as accurate in predicting good performers as doing the typical "tell me about your last job" interview. So Talent Sonar makes it easy to plan structured interviews that focus on what is relevant to the role. When the hiring manager is planning the interview, the first step is to rate the importance of each skill and value that was identified for this role. As an example, if the hiring manager thinks it is more important for an administrative assistant to be detail-orientated than for them to be passionate, the hiring manager can change the importance slider accordingly. Talent Sonar uses weighting of each skill and value in the final score it calculates for each candidate. Now the hiring manager can make a structured interview plan for their team. First, they will add each interviewer. In structured interviewing, each interviewer focuses on a subset of skills and values required for the role. Most importantly, each interviewer asks the same set of questions to every candidate they talk to. The other thing that has been shown to be predictive in interviewing is to ask behavior-based interview questions. An example of a behavior-based interview question is, tell me about the time when you had to communicate bad news to someone. How did you do it? And how did the person respond? This question gets the value of communication skills and will tell the interviewer about an actual circumstance where the candidate had to use this skill. Talent Sonar has a set of behavior-based interview questions available for most skills and values. This makes it super easy for a hiring manager to plan an entire structured interview in just a few clicks. In addition to all the great behavior-based interview questions, Talent Sonar suggests you can also add your own that will be stored and suggested to others on your team. And remember, research has shown by using values match to determine culture fit, your candidate selections are more likely to be high-performance hires. The hiring manager will click Save to give interviewers access to the interview plan that has been set up. Here's what happens when an interviewer is ready to start an interview. They first arrive at the prep page for a list of questions to ask and a view of the candidate's resume. They will click Start and get this reminder of what to focus on. This screen lets them take notes to summarize their feedback of the candidate. Afterwards, they will advance to the survey. The interviewer will then click each skill and value and click Save. As the interview results come in, the job owner gets a summary of the interview feedback, including a detail of the interview feedback itself. Remember, the scoring is weighted by the relative importance of each skill and value that was previously defined. Thanks for tuning in. To summarize, with Talent Sonar, your hiring team unlocks artificial intelligence to simplify and focus candidate screening, structured interviews to improve candidate assessment, and evidence collection to support data-driven hiring decisions. We look forward to partnering with your team and ensuring every candidate is the right fit.